welcome to Kay's Tiny House, where I am building my very own tiny house, though I have no experience. I'm very passionate about learning new things and creating things, and it's been a while since my last update. I have been focused on kitchen cabinets lately, and that means I have been doing a lot of having to pay attention to details, which is not really my jam, but we've been focused on the kitchen drawers, so that's been pretty fun. All the bases are built, the toe kick drawers are built, and now it's just the physical drawers in the main part of the cabinet. What we did was Phil, Doug, and I broke down like how to cut out the pieces. We're back at it, and Phil's complaining because he's bored.
Give him a job. Put a broom in his hand.
I didn't find the broom. I looked for the broom.
The broom was upstairs.
I bet it is.
Or
I found it!
he was by it the whole time.
No, it just got...
First, Doug and I built like a prototype drawer, so we had all our measurements already. This was just like, is what we said doable and will it all work out? And then we were like, okay, this looks great. How do we pre-cut everything, and then we can just assemble everything in one go? And so what we did was we went right into cutting, assembling. So the way we decided to build the drawers is we have a 1/4 inch for the bottom, and that was dadoed into the sides. So the sides were made out of 1/2 inch plywood, or actually, was it 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch? I'll need to double check. But what was interesting was that every drawer was pretty much a unique size because the depths were mostly the same, but the widths were all different. And the bottom drawers for the cabinets on the right side have the wheel well sticking out, so those were going to be short drawers. Doug showed me how to like dry fit it together, use wood glue in all the seams for the bottom, and then we use staples to staple it up along the sides. There were a couple that were, the bottoms were a little too big. We just needed to trim a couple of them. That was probably like the tricky part, but that's why we dry fit them, was so that we would know before gluing it all together. However, there was one where I did dry fit it and I thought it looked good, and then I was putting it together, I realized something was wonky, so we did have to like cut it while kind of assembled, which is weird because the bottom of the drawer isn't like on the bottom. It's like lifted a little bit because it's dadoed in. So that was kind of tricky, but Doug made that work, so yay. Then once all the drawers were assembled and glued and stapled up together, I had to do some polyurethane varnish. So I did 2 coats on every single drawer, inside, outside, bada bing, bada boom. That was what it is. Varnish is not my favorite thing to do, but the weather was warm enough to where I could do it very easily. Then drawer slides. So the drawers are ready to go. They are boxes built in, but all of the drawer slides for both the toe box drawers and the regular drawers need to be installed. For the toe boxes, I wanted the toe kick area to be like in a regular kitchen, right? I didn't want a drawer sticking out, and I wanted you to be able to like kick in the drawer to open it. So like a push to open situation. So I had special drawer slides to do that. We started installing those, and they're kind of tricky to get just right, especially when you want the front to be flush with the sides. So it is an inset drawer, and it's just a little tweaking here, tweaking there. Okay. Perfect. I also had assumed that all of my drawer slides came with little screws to install them. False. And so I had to make an emergency trip to the hardware store, which it's a local hardware store. They used to be called Winkley's. They're now called like MGH hardware store. And all of their screws and nails are just, it's kind of like an old-timey candy shop where you just put in what you want into a bag and then they weigh it. However, I didn't know that they weighed it. So I literally counted out like 200 of these itty bitty screws and put them in my bag, and then came up to the counter and I was like, there's 200 in there. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, we're just gonna weigh it. And he's like, did you count every single one? And I was like, no. So yeah, pro tip. But even then I wouldn't know how many was like 200. So whatever. Time well spent in my opinion, but now I know how that works out. That's where I'm at. It's taken like, every day we do a few hours of work, not every day, but a few days a week we do some hours of work. So it's not a quick thing. Oh, I also see, this is where I understand why drawers, when you buy cabinetry, it's so much more expensive with more drawers than just doors, because there is a lot to take in. There's a lot to consider. There is a lot more work to do than just slapping a door on a cabinet. So not only do you want, all your measurements, like where your drawer fit, all that stuff, but then because I have a little bit of a face frame to have the drawer slides match to the frame, we had to add these little 3/4 inch pieces of plywood to attach the drawer slide to for the normal drawers. Luckily for the toe kick boxes, we didn't have to worry about that. They could just assemble to the side. Today I'm cutting up some, I don't know what you call it, a spacer, so that the drawer slides can attach to them on the sides. So that's for the bottom drawer. And then I got a bunch in my hands that I'm cutting up. So these stick out just a little bit, so we'll plane them down. Then this one is similar, and then it sticks out just a little. And we knew that because we moved the frame over just a little bit to cover any potential gap here. So this was expected. And then here's where the stove will go. And a bird pooped on it. How rude. Then there's gonna be a drawer down there. Thankfully, while I was in the hardware store, Doug planed down a few of the 3/4 inch plywood pieces that I had already cut a while ago and got them to the right width. I just stapled those in. You may want to glue yours in. Oops, oh well. But I think stapling is fine enough. Other than that, next steps will be finish installing all the drawer slides. Make drawer fronts, right? Right now they're just boxes that need a drawer front on them. And then make I have like 3 cabinet doors total. And then we'll have to assemble the fridge pantry situation. So that's a whole other beast on its own. So that's been good. I've been making some consistent progress on it. It's been feeling good. I've been enjoying it. Otherwise, I've just been knitting. So I finished my sweater. So here is the sweater I showed in my last video. This is inside out. I've worn it a couple times, and I love the responses I get when I tell people I knitted it, because they're like, "You knitted that?" And I'm always like, "Yeah, I did." So this is the full sweater. It's super soft and fuzzy. I love it. Love it. And then I'm almost done with another sweater. So this one is the Salty Days sweater by Kudakovia, I think's her name. She's the lady who knitted her wedding dress. But this one has a more intricate pattern to it. And so once I block it, it'll be smoother and you can see the details better, but there's a ton of design going on. And I just need to finish out the collar, and then I will be done with this cute little oversized sweater. So that'll be fun. And then I already bought materials for a cardigan and a tank top. So hey, I've still been reading a lot, and let's see, reading corner time. I'm still obsessed with reading, and Lonesome Dove was a recent 5-star. That book is amazing. I don't know how I had never read it before or even heard of the author or the book, but every time I ask someone about it, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know that book," or "I know that there was like a mini series based off of it." I just missed this cultural moment, and I'm so glad I became aware of it because freaking loved it. It's an epic Western, which is another genre I'm not really, I don't know, I've never been like, ew, no, but also like, why? But I really liked it. I loved it. And you just meet all these amazing characters, and Larry McCurtry does such a good job of portraying the West, the US West, and the people in it, and people from different backgrounds and different motivations. And this is a book that will make you laugh. It'll make you it's very suspenseful, and it's very heartbreaking. All of these things. And so I cried, I laughed, I kikied with the cowboys. It was great, great fun. Would recommend. Books I'm reading right now is The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny, and I feel like this is gonna be a 5-star read because I am loving it right now, and I'm only like 10% in. The language is beautiful, the imagery is beautiful, I'm all about like family dynamics and This one's really interesting because it's about folks whose parents are in India and they come to the US to go to school. And it's just this very interesting dynamic on culture. Love it. Just love it. That's the updates on the tiny house and other hobbies and crafts. Until next time, hopefully the cabinets will be almost done. We'll see. It's a mystery. It's an adventure. One step in the adventure until it is complete and I can live in this tiny house and continue to do the same things I do in this bigger house. All right, till next time. Bye.